And should Detroit Lions attempt to make the playoffs, or should they pack it up and get draft position? You know what I'm saying? We know realistically they're gonna try to make it and whatever. But they really should just pack it up. They just really got to get the number one thing they got to do this offseason. It ain't a pass rusher. It ain't a left tackle. It ain't a safety. It ain't a corner. It ain't none of that. You know, the number one thing they have to do this offseason is they have to say, man, look here, man, we got to make adjustments to our culture. We need to value durability. You know, that's our number one thing this offseason. We need to be more durable. You know, we need to get more durable players. We need to look at our practice habits. We practicing too hard. Avonte Maddox was here not even one full training camp and told him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, y'all doing too much hit. We hitting too much in practice. You know what I'm saying? And we need to evaluate that. We have to evaluate that. And once they can figure out and they can evaluate, they can get to fixing that, then you worried about personnel. Because every one of the 5 years they've been here, it's always been major injuries that held them back. That's telling you that the personnel is trash, and that's telling you that the coach is not doing his job. He's practicing too hard. You done had this issue with Marinelli, Mariucci, Wayne Fonts. You done had this issue with Matt Patricia, Jim Caldwell. You didn't have those issues with them. Tone down the hitting in training camp. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Tone down the hitting. Tone down the practices. Doesn't have to be a lot. Cut the hitting by a quarter, by 25%. That's it. It's not hard. But that's their number one thing they got to do going into. But I don't want to see them in the playoffs, to be honest. They one and done. Not get anything can happen. Parsons went down. Mahomes went down. And it's really no dominant team in the NFC. Anything can happen. No dominant team in the NFL. But, you know, with the two corners they got right now, DJ Reed is clearly not 100% or close to it. Amik Roberts, you know, when the money on the wood ain't shit going good, he in a contract year. Seeing him get fucking baked like a baked potato, come on now. You know, the safeties, you down to corners being your safeties. You down to Roxanne being your nickel. He's an outside corner. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, right now, Liam McNeil, it didn't matter if he came back or not. He's a non-fucking factor. Guess what? You can get Tyleik Williams these reps. You know, and sprinkle Liam McNeil in until he get his legs back. He won't be back. If he ever get back to himself, it won't be the next year. You know? So you got a lot of questions to be asked. It's obviously they're not good enough. And quite frankly, they don't deserve to be there. The coach coached them out of the win last week versus the Rams. Didn't want to keep handing the ball off. You got to lead, you know, hand the ball off. You know, a lot of these guys you got to get from your roster. They bad juju. Marcus Davenport, Josh Pascal, Levi Onwuzurike, Ennis Rackstraw. Them type of dudes, they got to go. That injury bug becomes contagious. And I think they don't realize that. When you bring that energy into the locker room, all they do is become infectious. We can look at Marcus Davenport's attitude in the offseason when asked, just seem real sassy and nonchalant. Why would you want that energy in your building? You feel me? So, but yeah, miss the playoffs, get draft position. I think their priority, in my opinion, is go get Joe Burrow. I'm dead ass serious. That's your priority. You know, but if we're being realistic, edge rusher and left tackle. You know, that's what they need to be looking at. Edge rusher and left tackle. Whether Decker come back or not, get one. Get one. You know, get one this immediately. Get one. You know, edge rusher, yeah. You know, your salary's gonna be tight next year, but there really ain't nothing to worry about. You ain't bringing Reader back. Really, I don't even think you should bring none of them dudes back. You know, Reader, Amik, a lot of those guys, Rackstraw. I'd bring DJ Reed back, you know, but really none of them guys really need to come back. Davenport, Enrique, Josh Pascal, Makai Wingo, Alexander Zoni, they gonna move on from him. We all knew that. So yeah, I'd move on from a lot of those guys and start a little bit over in those positions, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been detached from the Lions. When they lost to the Washington Commanders last year, you know, I was done. I ain't gonna lie, I had tapped out. I just was like, I'm over it. You know, that was their last opportunity to do so within this window. Now it's time to make another window. You know, in another window for them, it's just going to be, hey, man, we got to make adjustments to our culture. And adjustments is to be made. Sometimes you might write a book, rewrite it, or edit it, or write an essay, or write something, or do something. You might, you know, go over and say, hey, man, I didn't see this the first time. I need to fix this guy in the third. Comes with the territory. So just rewrite it a little bit. Guys that's been injured or often injured, the Emmanuel Mosleys of the world, or in the draft, the Enrico Pascals, Ennis Rackstraws of the world, you got to put a premium on durability. But they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm going to keep it a bean. They don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They're not a good enough team to be in the playoffs. Got to find an offensive coordinator. Got to clean up the offensive line a little bit. You know, guess what? If you're not going to use David Montgomery, let him go somewhere else. It made no sense to phase out David. What you was doing under Ben Johnson worked just fine. What you was doing worked just fine. Keep doing it. You know, everybody want to reinvent the wheel. But the Lions are going to be the Lions. So they can talk about we need to go 3-0. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. They had a nice run, but now it's time to find another window. You know, whether that's with a Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, or preparing to get another quarterback, whether it's phasing out Taylor Decker, Davenport, DJ Reader, Enrique, Josh Pascal, Ennis Rackstraw. You know, whether they're starting to, you know, phase out those injury-prone players or those Meek Roberts, the veterans, it's time to move on from those guys. You know, Alexander's only, it's time to kind of usher out that era, you know, get younger, put some new guys in there. And then it's also questions about Sam Laporta and Brian Branch. Do you want to bring them back? And both coming off injuries, now you got an excuse not to pay them. Do we prepare for a new tight end to come in? So it's a lot of questions. They can make this. I mean, you got to understand, he did a great job rebuilding his team pretty fast. So reopening another window for Brad Holmes, okay, what did you learn in the first 5 years? You learned durability. So let's get durable players. Let's get these injury-prone old ninjas up out of here, and let's do it again. And I don't think they need to be in the playoffs. Get draft positioning and keep it moving. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit the link tree in the description. Be the first link. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, wherever else I'm producing content.